Rex out of some RD Kincaid. This is Tim Kincaid from RD Kincaid. We're going to show you a demo pipe patch to get you some spot repairs. This is Tim Kennedy over there, done a lot of them as well. Come up and give us a hand. And we're going to go through the process. We'll take questions afterwards and get things going. And when you sleeve in this, it is a key way to fold this up. You don't want to put it like this. You want to make sure it's in the middle, and you're going to fold one end up, one end down, and then you're going to do the corresponding fold at the end. And we'll go over that. It's just that so your air, when it's escaping, has a chance to escape as this inflates, and you don't get a false reading to your compressor if you'd have folded the plastic the other way.
You'll notice it's 4 feet long, but we're doing a 2-foot repair. So what we're going to do is we're going to put resin on this side, we're going to flip it over, put resin on this side, and then we're going to fold it over with a 1-inch overlap, and that's what gives us our finished 2-foot patch, okay? Be it winter, summer, rapid, has a chart on it. It tells you how long it's going to take to turn how much working time you have.
This is not the time to be dawdling around. So no nozzle, no camera is going to get hung up on.
They're throwaways. We got a lot of lift stations. It's nice to have 10, 12, 14 stations where when the life of a pump is done, you can chuck it, you got one on the shelf, plug it back in and roll. These flights, this is an entry-level flight. This would be like brother, but this is about a $7,000 pump. This is a 3-phase model, 2.4 horsepower, 3-phase. When you get into pumps like this that have a higher value, you start playing the game. Something else that's really nice about Flight, and they've come a long ways, is as you can see this impeller and this wear plate's all beat up, they've come out with what they call a hard iron kit, and they are holding up incredible. One of our 60 Hort, well 2 of them, and one of the stations we have, we converted it to a hard iron kit 8 years ago. And we pulled it a couple months ago. It literally looks brand new still. This is a true pump by definition that is ran by this 3-phase motor. What's missing is a pulley that would be on here. There's a shaft on the back side of that thing. We couldn't pull it out, it's too darn heavy. There's a pulley back there that's driven by a belt, series of belts. So motor, pump.
All right, is everybody ready? Yes, sir. Do you guys all have rodders? Do you guys rod? Do rodding in your power rodding? No, not at all. All right, you guys seen a rodder? You know how they work at all? It holds about 1,500 continuous feet of rod. It's a big snake, basically. So normally, we're showing you guys how we use extension hoses. Normally, the hose down there at the end, it has a bell on the end where the cutter blade is, and then a bar. If this is just a normal length hose, just one guy on the bar, one guy. Well, we got 3 now. So some guys spin going in. As you're going in, you can spin. And you can adjust the throttle here, the faster you spin, or put pay out. You don't have to spin until you hit a bad joint or roots or a problem in the line. So you just push out. And we kind of put our hand here for feel. So when this rod is kind of, curving down, if it hits something, it's going to kind of bow up and you kind of get a feel for it after a while. So that's why we put our hand here when we're going out. But crank it up. I know I got something about 80 feet that I'm going to hit. So right about there, I can feel it. This is tightening up, getting some tension. You kind of, so, but say, yeah.
The hose does something weird. It's a feel thing.
Say that was a root plug or a bad joint. I'll start spinning and I'll go into it, and if it keeps doing it, I can back up. You just kind of, if it's roots, you can kind of chew at it. You can crank up the spin, make it spin faster. Just chew, take bites out if you have to. Go back and forth, back and forth. If it's a big plug, like say the line's plugged. It's plugged up there, you got overflow, it's plugged. You can go up it with an auger. You guys know what auger is? Hand rod, same thing. Go up there with auger. I'll just push into it till I hit a wall, start a slow spin so I can feel it bind up, and then I'll stop my spin and just yank it back. It's like a cork, popping it, pulling it out. And then once we get the plug free and you get everything washed down, we'll go back with cutter blades and really clean it.
Good afternoon, my name is Jason. That's Jason, real easy to remember. So this is our overflow simulator. We got the idea from South Placer, Sam over there, and also Union Sand has something similar to this. Obviously we have a manhole RI and then 2 clean outs. The water is supplied from a hydrant over there where we just hook up the hydrant into a box and then it's fed over here to the valves. You'll see these different valves here will control either the clean out over here, the RI. The other valve is for the manhole, and then we can control it, the GPM 10, and then the 2 together 20. And we can get all the way up to 200 gallons per minute out of each one. So here's the first one. What do you guys think that this might be? So a 2? Any other guesses? 5? 2 to 5? Any other guesses? 5. What about this one? 50? 75? 50? 50, right on. So you got obviously some hovering here. $175? 200? 200.
My name's Josh. I've been here at Central Sand for about a little over 11 years. So we're here to talk about our bypassing setup and what we do in kind of different situations. So we'll start with the pump trailer, or the pipe trailer. So all of our 6-inch aluminum pipe is kept on this trailer. We got a couple long flex hoses on the side and the cabinets. And then these 2 things here are drive crossings. So if we're piping across a road, we got to keep traffic open. We'll put those in the lanes and cars can drive over them and we can continue pumping. We don't have to worry about the lay flat getting holes in it or things like that. So here we got a binder and some pictures of some of the stuff I'm going to be talking about. So we have these totes and then we have pallets where we put sandbags, stakes, plastic, rope. It's kind of like an overflow setup for a creek, right? A dam setup, if you will. So the way we used to set up our dams was with the hay bales, the sandbags, and the plastic. And this would create a place that we could pump from. So even if the creek, so this is more for an overflow into a creek, right? Pumping out of the creek. We set this up to create a deeper spot where we can actually run a pump in the water and it's efficient. It's sucking water instead of air, water, air, water. So it would take forever to set these things up. But you gotta do it, then you gotta drag the pump and the hoses and everything down there and then find a place to pump it to. That's when you gotta start figuring out how high the pump's gotta be to pick up the water and push it out wherever it's gotta go. What we've moved to in the last 6 months are these dams. I'm assuming you guys saw one up there for the overflow estimation. It's the same thing, this one's a little smaller. But this dam takes 2 people about 20 to 30 minutes to set up. Cuts our response time down a lot and does the same thing. Creates a place for water to gather and for us to pump out of. The way we manage our overflows into a creek is the first person or the first crew there is clearing the blockage, first and foremost. The second crew there is going to start walking the creek and find out how far the spill has gone down the creek. Once they figure that out and figure the time that it took it to get there, they're going to jump that much further ahead so we can set up the dam, the pump, and start pumping before the contaminated water gets there. So you can imagine, with a setup like this, it takes a few hours, how far ahead of the contamination you got to get. With this, you don't have to go as far down the creek. There's less creek to clean. Your time flushing is less. Everything, it's way more efficient. So over here is kind of our side sewer setup. If we have to disconnect a side sewer, we've had creeks take out roads and take out our mains with it. And so we got to set these up at houses or businesses or whatever to keep them going, keep the customers going. And so we'll set these up in front of houses or businesses, disconnect their side sewer, dig a sump deep enough to handle their flow, whatever it may be, and set these in there. They're electric sump pumps, and there's a little float that we tie to them with zip ties. And once that float kicks up, the pump turns on. When the sump is emptied, the float goes down, it turns the pump off. So one guy could manage a handful of these, 10, 20, depending on how far apart they are. So it's really efficient to do it this way. If you've got a big area of side sewers that you need to take care of, you know, if you lose a road, that's happened to us a few times.